Welcome to Football Game Plan Scout Team. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook. And now that the 2021 NFL Draft is complete, let's take a look back and see how well these teams did this past April. With rookie minicamps done and the 90-man roster with the undrafted free agents locked in as they head into training camp, let's evaluate the entire class and hand out a grade. So without further ado, let's take a look at the Football Game Plan Scouting grading scale to see what these numbers next to the prospects actually mean. The Philadelphia Eagles were the movers and shakers of the 2021 NFL Draft and ended up with 9 selections this past April. And you can see there was a heavy emphasis on one side of the football. But offensively speaking, Kenneth Gainwell from Memphis fits the mold of what they look for in the backfield. Someone that doesn't need volume, a one-cut accelerator getting downhill, and another guy that can help out as a valuable asset in the passing game and can also play special teams. So I thought they did a solid job in that regard, getting some depth in the backfield. But what I like most about the draft, offensively speaking, once again, DeVonta Smith out of Alabama. He was my number 1 split-end prospect. Reminds me a lot of Marvin Harrison and what he brings to the table. Size is not a skill. He's good enough, so he's big enough to go out there and make plays on Sunday like he did on Saturday. And Landon Dickerson, the center from Alabama, if he is healthy, 100% healthy, this is one of the true steals of the draft because he's arguably the top center in the class. But health has been a question mark, but talent is definitely unquestioned, and if he can stay healthy, that's going to be a huge pickup for Philadelphia. And Zech McPherson out of Texas Tech, when you watch the defense of Texas Tech play, he consistently jumped out at you as someone that has the athleticism, the instincts, the ball skills. He's good in the alley, so he's not afraid to help out in run support. So he was a very good all-around solid cornerback prospect at a position of need for the Eagles. I was also impressed by the point of attack emphasis on defense. Milton Williams is a versatile defensive lineman, started as a defensive end, but kicked inside the tackle, so he brings a little bit of that pass rushing presence on the inside that can also be moved around the formation. You look at Marlon Tuipolatu out of USC, quick penetrator up front on the inside. They needed depth there. They got one with him. Teron Jackson was one of the top tier pass rushers coming out of the Sun Belt Conference. Reminds me a lot of what they have on the roster in Brandon Graham. So they do get someone that could be a situational rusher on the onset of his career. And Patrick Johnson out of Tulane, strong point of attack defender that's more like a Sam backer as also he is as an edge rusher, but someone that can give them quality minutes in a reserve role. So emphasizing the point of attack, as you can see, was a big time part of their draft strategy going into April. And Jacoby Stevens out of LSU is an intriguing player that I like a lot. He's a strong safety by trade, but could see more time as a nickel backer within their defense in their sub packages. He played in a role very similar to that at LSU this past season, so he does give you a little bit of that position versatility and flexibility, and one that's a really good football player, especially versus the run. It can help you match up against tight ends and some running backs. Now let's take a look at some of the undrafted rookie free agents that could surprise and have an impact. You look at Jamie Newman out of Wake Forest. I think he has a clear pathway to the QB2 role because he gives them someone similar to that of Jalen Hurts and what he brings to the table athletically. He's one of the best deep ball passers in the draft class. Does a great job in placing the football out in front and helping create that separation. And he's a +1 in the run game, a physical runner that is also capable of executing the zone read option, RPOs, QB run game very well. And his game, quite honestly, is that tailor-made for what we see now that's in vogue in the NFL. Trevon Grimes out of Florida at 6'4", 218 is a classic high point receiver that has an outstanding combination of timing, leaping ability, and hand-eye coordination. This game reminds me a lot of Vincent Jackson. When the ball is in his vicinity, he gives you a high percentage chance of coming down with the reception. He's a dominating blocker on the perimeter, which is really good. It helps spring both long runs and chunk plays on quick screens, and he played his role really well at Florida and has a good combination of both skills and upside, and he hasn't reached his potential yet, so the upside is definitely there for the receiver. And JaQuan Bailey out of Iowa State shows a lot of activity as a pass rusher. His hands never stop moving and is always showing that he has a plan B if his initial move is stopped at the line of scrimmage. He has good ball get off, which gets him into the backfield, where he does a solid job of making plays in the run game. He has solid all-around skills and is ideally suited to be a sub-package player at the pro level. So I think this fits him perfectly, landing in Philadelphia. I'm giving the Eagles an A for their draft. I thought they knocked it out of the park. They got playmakers for Jalen Hurts. They got really good offensive line help with Landon Dickerson. Defensively, they were able to emphasize the point of attack, which should help them out up front defensively this year, stopping the run. And they got some versatile pieces that can be some move pieces on game day. You talk about Jacoby Stevens, Zech McPherson can play outside or even in the slot. So I love what they did all around. To me, that's an A draft all the way. So that's it for this edition of Football Game Plan Scout Team. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Be sure to follow me on all of my social media accounts. And don't forget to check out and subscribe to the Football Game Plan Network located at youtube.com/footballgameplan. Also subscribe on iTunes to Football Game Plan Podcast and leave us a 5-star rating.